So I did a polished concrete job for that house over there, and it was a failure. Look at this clip. 7:40 p.m. Saturday night, and we're still working on the polished concrete floor. Going back to the video. Most people think that construction, it's something timed, concise, precise, it's perfect. But reality is that it won't happen. So you need to think about magic word unforeseen. Today, we're gonna pour concrete here. But I want to show you the unforeseen that we're facing right now. How am I able to foresee that? It's an impossible unforeseen. This floor will have tiles, but this one is polished concrete. There cannot be any dog paw mark here. Unforeseen number 2 is that no matter how many ways we try to get the truck into the lot, we cannot get the truck into the lot. And then we finally did it, and then it got stuck. This is Hilde. That's the author of those paw marks that you saw on the concrete. You'll see her more often. She's a sweetheart. Now, let's talk about the real challenge, which is figuring out how to pour the concrete from the street to the house. For that, we're gonna use a special pipe that we've used before for concrete, but as you can see, it's broken right now. So we need to place them, weld it, having it ready for the concrete mixture. After I made sure that the pipe was clean and I had a few last words with my foreman Johnny, we were ready to pour. I want you to pay attention to the distance that the concrete has to travel, which is about 30 to 35 feet. This is an important fact to what I'm about to describe you. If you're pouring a polished concrete floor, you need to make sure that the mix is the driest possible. But because of the distance that we had to carry the concrete from the truck to the house, the mixture had to be the wettest possible, which at the end backfired at us because the concrete took hours and hours for it to be dry. Do you see those hairs that are in the middle of the concrete? Wait, now, do you see them? Well, that's fiber. Fiber is another option to strengthen the concrete so it works as a floor slab. Usual floor slab has a grid of rebar 3/8 of an inch. We had to put the concrete with fiber because the rebar would have made everything messy. So guys, today is May 27th, 9:05 p.m. and we're finishing the polished concrete floor for the interiors of this house. We started this job at 9 a.m. and it's been 12 hours. A bad weather today, we've had rain, we've had high levels of humidity, and the concrete is still wet. So right now it's almost midnight, 30 minutes to midnight, and we just finished the polishing of the concrete. We'll now have to do the joints that we just didn't have enough time today to do, and then we'll have to wait about 15 days to get that final glossy magazine look that we're aiming for. It was a long day. This is obviously not usual, but this is what we have to do in order to accomplish the daily goals. So, look at me. I was super happy after all this struggle, and I had no idea what was about to come. And now you're probably thinking, but Rommel, what's the big deal? I mean, yes, you push a little bit harder than what you should have. Yes, it took a little bit longer than what you expected. But obviously, construction jobs are incomplete without challenges and unforeseen. The actual problem that qualifies this polished concrete as a failure is what happened next. While we were waiting for the final polished, we were busy. I mean, the subcontractor scheduled for him to be back 12 days later. And in the meantime, we were busy And the day that the guys came back, this happened. By the way, we didn't even finish to install this pipe. But don't worry about that. I mean, that's not what qualifies this as a failure either. The end result was a problem. This is the actual footage that I shared with the subcontractor, the main subcontractor, to file a formal complaint. Unpolished corners and edges. Stained walls. Missing joints. Machine throwel mark number 1. Oil stains from the machine throwel while it was polishing the concrete. Machine throwel mark number 2. Inconsistent floor pattern, fiber exposed, over polished floor exposed gravel in concrete, and uneven floors, which actually was an issue with the sliding doors that we were installing. The answer that I got was like, yeah, don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. I'll come back in 2 days to fix all those issues. In the meantime, my client was a little bit nervous. He thought, how much better could this get? And the subcontractor just kept postponing it. I'll fix it in 2 days. I'll fix it in 4 days. Oh, sorry, I'll come back next week. By that point, my client was fed up, just as me. And he said, we'll install tiles. At that time, the subcontractor had no idea what decision my client and I just made. So I had to give him the good news. Now, I don't know if you're going to be as amazed as I was, but this guy was an expert making excuses. I mean, just the type of excuse that he made, he would win an Academy Award. This is what he said. Wow. So what lessons can we learn from this? What tips can I give you? First, I definitely need to get a better subcontractor. In fact, I don't think I'll call this guy anymore. And putting more thought into it, I realized that there are different type of projects that would require polished concrete floor. Warehouse, supermarkets, commercial store, houses, and all of those have a different level of quality control and quality standard. I'm sure that the imperfections that we had would not matter at a warehouse or would not matter at a commercial store where all the concretes and the corners will have shelves. Because the spectrum that uses polished concrete floor is huge. I would dare to say that it's more likely that you would end up with a industrial looking type of polished concrete than high-end, stylish polished concrete floor. I would recommend you other alternatives such as micro cement, such as grinding the concrete. But again, those are lessons that you only get from experience. So the tip that I would give you is make sure that if you're hiring somebody that does polished concrete floors, make sure that he has a huge curriculum on residential projects. Number 2, the type of house that you have would also tell you if you can have or you can't have polished concrete floor. In this case, again, putting more thought, I realized that because of the layout of the house, it was not convenient to have a polished concrete floor. I sent the plan to the subcontractor. He never said anything. But this is just a lesson that I now learn from experience. As for me, personal lessons that I've learned, definitely I have a different relationship with my subcontractor. I knew him from previous works. I saw the job that polished concrete that he was doing. I definitely had a trust on his capability. He previously had delivered, but obviously now it's a different relationship. And don't get me wrong, I'm not emotional at all. I'm just a little bit more disappointed that I would be than if I would have a different subcontractor. So yeah, that's what I can tell you. I learned now how to put tiles. I got a tile guy. and I ask him, hey, can you teach me how to put tile? That would be another video. And that house, this house, is actually almost done. Tomorrow there's gonna come a guy that will install the closets, but I'll do a video tour soon. So yeah, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss this project. See you next time. Bye-bye.